Good morning. Happy day, happy day. I hope everyone is doing well. Come on in, say hello if you want to make a comment. I'm Belinda, and welcome to Just Be Yoga and our home yoga practice live this morning, Friday, September 25. Wow, let's just take that in. September 25. What a year. What a year, what a day, what a week. Let's not take anything for granted because we woke up today and that's a blessing. So enjoy that breath, enjoy the sunshine. Good morning, Kara. Happy Friday indeed. Happy day of being. All right. Let's go ahead and get situated. If you're new, this is our Friday. We focus on fundamentals and basics in our practice. If you're new to Home Yoga Practice Live, this is where we develop our own personal yoga practice at home. So we work on a plan, set an amount of time, and have been more or less setting a theme every week. And this week, the theme has been Duhkha. And that's in Sanskrit means suffering or misery or pain. And how do we identify what it is? How do we react to discomfort? Do we distinguish between suffering and discomfort? And starting to look at how we navigate around it, all right, in terms of poses, breath, and our mindset. All right, so maybe take a peek at your yoga plan. If you don't have one, just sit for a moment and feel out, why are you coming to yoga today? What are you arriving on your mat to connect with? Yoga means to create a connection. What do you personally need to connect with? Because yoga is a deeply personal practice. I'm trying to connect with all of the things that I disconnect from. I'm really keenly aware of that this morning. Like, ooh, I run from that, I run from that, I run from that. But here's where I feel whole. So I've been trying not to disconnect from discord. I want to go and look at the things that I disagree with and find peace inside of it and not let it rock me so much. That's mine. So I'm just sharing a little bit if it helps give folks any guidance. My physical body feels fine. My neck's a little tense. The shoulders from some of the dolphins that we've been doing this week, definitely feeling that. Feeling the breath. Making sure I'm not abandoning my breath and the awareness of it that I generate with each practice. Check in on my mindset, be honest about how distracted my mind is, where it's preoccupied. And please note that I didn't say to shut it down. I'm bringing awareness to what I'm distracted with. Because I want to connect with it. I don't want to disconnect from it. Let's breathe in and sweep the arms up. Exhale, gather my thoughts, my aspirations, and bring it down into the body as I breathe out. And feel my whole integrated being. Breath in, feeling the body respond to the mind. I'm so grateful. Exhale, bringing the hands through center. So find some appreciation as we flow and just infuse the body with breath and intention. Feel the collaboration between mind and body. Even just on a physiological sense, feeling the shoulder sockets, feeling the ribs and the torso. And I'll invite a gentle twist, spiraling. And bring that awareness into the physical body. Notice already if you're forcing, tugging, yanking. Notice resistance, and let's bring our mind now into that suffering, into that dukkha. Is there something uncomfortable about this twist right here? Am I aware? And before I want to change it, just where am I aware of it? Up and down the spine. Up and down the breath. If the breath had a body, can you follow the length of that body and notice where the breath is going in or out? And I'll release and come around to the other side. Occupying my physical existence, occupying my breath existence, feeling my mental intention. How full can the breath be? And does full mean forcing to you? I'm going to change the cross of my legs, trying to bring some balance into how I carry myself in my body. You choose whether you want those legs crisscross applesauce. Those legs could also just be out in front of you. So let's be in the body in a respectful manner, respecting how it wants to shape itself this morning. And I'm going to twist again. Where is the twisting happening? Where is movement going on? Where are we forcing movement? And I'm going to bring some kindness now into my actions, into my intention. And making my way over to the other side. And releasing. I'm just going to walk it forward and feel that compression. My upper body compressing over the legs. Feeling the legs receive it or fight it. Is that a discomfort? Is that an ill ease? And what's my relationship to it? And roll the spine up. I'm going to lengthen the legs out. And as I lengthen those legs out, I'm going to talk a little bit. We're going to separate the legs maybe as wide as the mat. Let me scooch back so I'm in the camera. And just point and flex, waking up the flesh and the fibers in our shins and our calves. Let your eyes look at your body. Feel that connection of you identifying with living in this frame. Seeing your ankles, your toes, your bones, your flesh respond to your mind. Change your mind direction. So maybe you're slowing it. Maybe you're going to target moving a certain toe. But look at it and feel the body responding and notice, wow, that's connected, responding. And then an ankle rotation. Can you identify now the bones inside of the ankles? What's being alleviated, what's growing, what's releasing, what's building, right? Energy builds too. And how are we experiencing or perceiving the build of that energy? And for me, that's a crack. Can you hear that? But it's not a discomfort. It's a fascination. Notice where the mind goes. Remember, we talked a little bit about our minds and that the mind can occupy 5 kind of states of being, right? It can be, comprehending or miscomprehending, being in memory or in a future thought, anticipating or planning. And then there's deep sleep, which I hope none of us are in that space while we're here together now. I'm going to keep the toes flexed. And I'm just going to hinge at the hips. See if I can just make the upper body move at the hips. That's all. And roll it up and just let my mind awareness, which I practiced in those ankles, come down into the lower body and in my back and just observe anything that starts to talk. Anything that's sending out a signal back. Either of, wow, that's tense. Wow, that's sharp. Some of the signals we get are unidentifiable, and we have a reaction nonetheless. So here we're getting to build our library of texture and sensation and reaction. And see if we can invite some ease and steadiness. I'm a big fan of letting the hands give deliberate touch as we're coming along. And noticing how we feel even receiving that touch. Are we self-conscious? Can we let it be luxurious and tender? Is it firm or deliberate as a squeeze? Can we change and vary that touch and feel ourselves receiving it? I'm going to hold in a forward fold. And then just ask us to spend some time following the breath body. And I mean it that way, your breath body embedded inside of your physical body. Feel the outline of it expanding as you breathe in and out. Feel the physical body respond to what the breath body does. And feel the mind signals talking to the breath. And feel the physical body and breath talk back to the mind signals. And we'll gradually bring ourselves up. Okay, I'm going to invite us to come to standing. Our Fridays are about basics and fundamentals, and so I like to talk about the fundamentals of standing poses, fundamentals of seated poses, fundamentals of reclining, etc. You get the point. And the fundamentals of breath, fundamentals of mind. I'm only going to talk about that as a strata. In yoga, there's lots more for us to be connecting with, but that's more than enough for us to kind of hold on to as we connect within ourselves today. All right, so we'll come up to standing. And as you arrive in standing, maybe tune out looking at a screen and just ask yourself, okay, I'm standing. What am I experiencing? And just notice what your mind says. If your mind is like, what? So what? Or what's going on? Or this is boring. What is your mind doing? Check in with your physical body. What's your physical body doing? What are your feet, your ankles, your shins, your calves, your knees, your thighs? There's a whole bunch of body doing a whole bunch of stuff. How is it holding you upright? Now start to notice if your mind is starting to ask, like, well, what should I be doing? Feel out for yourself. Am I standing in a balanced way, or does something feel off kilter? Do I know what feeling off kilter is? And let's see that in the framework of dukkha, or suffering, or discomfort, or ill at ease. And how do you want to bring some ease and effortlessness into where we are? So I'm going to turn sideways. Try not to lock your knees back. Your feet could be apart or together. And maybe you don't know what feels better. So you could bring your feet closer together and just notice, what are you feeling in your thighs, your feet, your knees? Do you like it? Do you not? Do you feel stable and sturdy, or don't you? If you feel more at comfort and ease, effortless, with the legs apart, maybe that's less stress on the thighs and the hips and the back. How much effort do the muscles in your abdomen need to exert to hold you upright? Now, there's a wonderful thing called gravity, right? And if we weren't exerting any force, we would fall like a puddle, all right? So there's a certain amount of muscular effort that we need to reach upward against gravity. Can you feel that going on? And then there's a certain amount that needs to be rooting down into the earth. But does it need to be digging? Does it need to be forcing? So let's arrive in Tadasana mountain pose and feel our effortlessness and our effort. And can the effort not bring us discomfort? Now you might want to check in with your pelvic bowl. So you could scoop back and forth a few times with that. Sorry about that. I have not figured out how to turn off the Google notifications on my laptop. So feel where you want to be in the pelvic bowl. Feel how much energy you want to have lifting the chest. Are you lengthening upward through the top of the head as well? Could you? And how would that transform being in this pose? We've talked a lot about elements of time and how much time we spend in a posture and feeling that time elapse and starting to notice the effects and the impacts on the body over time. How does our relationship to suffering and exertion in mountain change over time? How does it change in our mental state over time? Are you still practicing the pose, or are you getting frustrated or irritated or bored or lazy? Or are we tired? Is it hard? I'm noticing I was really cramping and tensing in the calves, so I'm trying to relax that space. And practice the breath, standing in the mountain. How much ease can I have in the breath? So this is the foundation of all standing poses. Feeling a balance of exertion in the legs, a balance of exertion in the hips, this upward intention in the upper body. And let's breathe in and reach the arms upward, but keep the shoulders rooting downward. And experience the breath, experience the mind here, pressing the legs down, rising in the chest. What's going on in your face? It's a part of the body. Is your mind still sending signals to the body? Let's remember those twists that we did and the signals. Remember the feet and the legs out and pointing and flexing. We're still sending a signal. What is our intention in this signal? Rooting and rising. Breath in, lift the heart, lift the heart. Don't bend backwards. Feel that. Exhale, take it forward. Now, as we're coming forward, go ahead and bend the knees a little and let the upper body go. How gentle of an experience can we make this forward fold be? And allow the upper body and the spine to feel the effects of this inversion. Let your breath feel the effects of this inversion in the body. Feel your breath in the belly. Feel how the breath is creating a relationship with the body and how the body is accepting that relationship or not. Breath in, breath out. And let's gradually roll the spine up. Feel your mind, feel the body, feel that collaboration, that integration, and feel our mountain. Practicing it. What was comfortable or uncomfortable in that experience? What was our perception of it? What got in the way? Let's breathe in and lengthen upward. Shoulders rooting down. Root it even more. Practice it more. Lift the front of the body even more. Practice it more without forcing. Do we know how to amplify something without it converting into a force or an aggression? Taking ease with us everywhere we go, still carrying intention. Breath in, lift the chest, exhale, take it forward. And let's lift the chest up halfway. Now I'm going to do this half flat back, but notice I'm keeping these knees generously bent, resting my hands on my shins. Yours might be on your knees, and see how much we can flatten that spine. Feel the muscles of your back working, your neck working, your legs. What's going on? How much weight is in the front of your feet versus the back of your feet? And release it down. Breathe in and lift it back up. Coordinating, feeling the mind connect with body, and forward fold. Inhale it up. Wow, this back, this spine, this flesh, all of it is responding to us. Exhale, releasing. So much to be grateful for. And let's roll that spine upward. We'll invite a few shoulder rotations. Feel the bones, feel the flesh around it. What's limiting, what feels free. How much of the upper arm bones and the flesh in the upper arms. What are the armpits doing? Are we aware? Change direction. Feel the range of movement. And let's breathe in and lengthen upward, shoulders down, grow tall through the belly and the abdomen, and we'll release it down. Good, let's find another half flat back. Now maybe the body is gradually warming up and you might want to start to explore straightening the legs, but you don't have to. Let's think about the intention of the line of energy through the spine forward and in the legs, and then feel the relationship, your mind, your breath, and your body are having together. Now we'll plant the palms down and let's come on back to hands and knees. And we'll find a few cat and cows, creating a relationship and awareness with the spine. So I'm going to bow the belly down, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine, and just feel the back muscles and the spinal column responding here. How about the flesh in our chest, our belly, our pelvis responding? Can you feel the flesh on the front of your body, the skin and the muscles moving and responding, lifting and lengthening, and then rounding, and feel the skin and the flesh on the back of the neck, upper back, low back. Feel the flesh wrapping around us. How is it responding? What's moving, what's not moving? How much are we forcing? Is the breath going with you? Is the breath kind of stuttering and moving in a different pace than the body? Can they collaborate? Can you invite some effortlessness into it? Now let's drop the belly and lift the gaze, tilt the tailbone up, draw the breastbone forward. What are you noticing really going on? Is the throat straining? Is that trying to lift, or could the breastbone actually do the work? Do we believe that area of the body could initiate movement and the neck could relax? How much leverage do we have to press with the arms to activate the muscles in the front of the chest, the pectoralis, the underarm muscles having to help, drawing the shoulders back, tilting the tailbone up? Ooh, as you tilt that tailbone up, what are you experiencing in your back? And let's find child's pose. I'm going to sink the hips back. Good morning, Chi-Town, D-Bay, awesome. Let's sink it back into the child's pose. Now, the knees could be wide. Perhaps you're putting cushions down. If Ansel is here, as he was yesterday, asking about some discomfort in his knees, have a stack of blankets around for you, because maybe you want to put some added cushioning down onto these knees. Another bit of discomfort that can be going on is the compression of the back of the thighs against the calf muscles, right? All that body weight accordionating down. So some of us, that doesn't feel comfortable. You could roll a blanket or a towel underneath of the knee joint, and that could alleviate some of that pressure. All right, so start to feel out what feels good. And as we're developing our awareness muscles, start to notice if you feel like, well, that means that I'm a remedial yogi and I need extra help. And no, that means that you are learning your body and its needs, and you're learning to respect it. And that's your body today. Your body could change tomorrow, right? Let's work on some of that acceptance, santosha. Now we're going to lengthen the arms forward and ask yourself, can you feel where you're lengthening from? Is it just from the hands? Are you lengthening from the shoulder socket? Could you keep the shoulder sockets back and still lengthen? Can you believe that the tendrils and fibers of your muscles can reach while the shoulder sockets remain back? And let's breathe in as we come forward to hands and knees. I'm going to tuck the toes. Now listen, feel your toes. We're going to see if we can just lift the knees a few inches. And feel any desire you have to, quote unquote, complete a down dog. Versus, can you accept and learn and build awareness of what is going on right here? What's your core muscles doing? What are the arms? What are the bones doing? Feel the structure beneath your flesh. And then we'll start to straighten the legs, dropping the head down, and then bring the knees back down. Sinking it back to child's pose. Feel the pressure even alleviating out of the hands as you come out of that. Let's breathe in as we come back up. Tuck the toes, be aware of the toes, feel each toe. Are there toes we're not aware of that are stretching? Lifting the knees just a few inches. Pushing the butt up, feel the spine lengthening, feel the arms and the under armpits giving you signals about their limits, pressing the heels back. Don't worry about heels touching floor. All I did was say energetically press the heels back. Breath in. And let's bring the left knee down. Step your right foot up. And we're going to step the left foot up. Wrapping our arms behind the knees, sinking the butt back. Feel the hug and pull the chest up. Feel the resistance. What's going on here in resistance? Remember when I was sharing earlier in this week about Duhkha, that Desikachar says that it can feel like a squeeze. Suffering and misery and restraint, feeling like a squeeze. So feel that squeeze, and you're doing it yourself. Feel that inner fight. How are you responding? Where's your mind? Is it going to a memory space? Is it going to a future space, like I want out? And feel yourselves butting up against your desire and that unfulfilled desire. Breath in. Exhale, will forward fold and release that urge, release that desire. Feel your awareness in this very moment. Now, I said that the root foundation of standing poses is mountain. So we're in basically half of a mountain here. So the legs are rooting. Upper body is still reaching. So reach through the crown of the head in the direction that it's facing. Let the crown of the head reach to the floor. And exist in your physical body and hear its signals. Exist in the breath body and feel its signals. And we'll roll the spine up. Effortlessness. All right, we're going to bring the hands as such. I'm not sure that D-Bay or Kara were here earlier this week, so I'm just coming a little closer so you could see. And we'll bring the hands as such. We're going to pull while holding, okay? The Ganesha Mudra. Ganesha is often called the elephant god. And we did a bit of this resistance when we hugged behind the knees. Feel that strain. So the elephant's seen as being able to go through obstacles effortlessly. Feeling ourselves, feel that internal struggle when we face an obstacle. And now start to ease up that grip and soften, 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 and feel the releasing of our hold onto the fight around an obstacle. And we'll flip the palms and pull. So this is the Ganesha Mudra. Mudras have power, like yoga poses in the hands, for our mental visualization, our aspiration, our intention. Pull, pull. Maybe envision something that's in your way. Maybe in your way physically in your yoga practice. Maybe there's a tension that you're always fighting against, and then vision it, feel it, embody. Believe you can feel it soften. Start to build in that awareness and that intention. All right, so we have our poses this week. So we're going to work on our twisting triangle, but we're going to do it in a basic way. So let's find our way here. Practice your mountain, rooting, lifting, feel your shoulders, maybe work the neck. How aware are you of your whole body? Check in with your eyes, your ears, your jaw. Your skin is an organ. Let's breathe in, lengthen upward. Exhale, taking it forward. All right, so the root foundation of all standing poses is the mountain. So I'm going to step my left leg back, and I'm going to bring this left knee down. And I'm going to come upright. All right, so we are standing still. Feel everything that is rooted into the earth. Stand in it. Maybe remember your mountain. And then remember the upper aspects of the mountain. And remember that effortlessness. Let's invite our inner Ganesha. What are the obstacles to us feeling ease where we are right here? Are you still lifting, or are you just hanging out right here waiting for the next thing? Are you lifting, or are you like, heck no, I'm just trying to maintain staying on the ground and not falling or wobbling? Where's the honesty about where you are? Everything that I say isn't meant as a challenge of something to achieve. It's just pinging to say, where are you? Where's your mind? Do you know? Maybe it starts to give you a list of things you want to focus on in the future in your practice that you know as practice plans. I'm going to bring my left hand down to the floor here. All right, now remember what I said about the cushioning. You might want a blanket under your knee. I'm going to bring my left hand to the floor right here, but you could use a block. All right, so here are some obstacles we may be facing. Our bellies, right, might be too compressed down here. We might feel like there's no space, okay? So you could widen to give your belly space to come down inside of here. Okay, there's a lot that we have to confront in this space. Now, this other hand, your block could be down here because maybe our hand can't touch the floor or you're straining to get it down there. Now, here's what can start to happen. You see how that knee is coming out of alignment? And I say, oh, no, I'm going to bring some mindfulness to the carriage of my body and see if I can keep knee over joint. And I've got this hand. Now, this is a new leg, so I'm going to stand in it. I'm not just going to floppity in it and just ask my legs and everything else is kind of saggy. All right, so the rootedness. Feel the bottom body. Where's the mountain in your pose? What's rooting? And then let that rooting give you the leverage to turn your chest open to the right. Now, I like to bring my right hand to the chest and ask the chest to revolve. Now, often this right knee will start to come out of the bend, so see if you can stay in your root. Now, you could use that hand to guide the chest. You could keep your right hand on the knee and press down and start to feel the twisting and revolving. Now, remember in the mountain, we would be growing tall through the top of the head. Can you lengthen through the top of your head horizontally parallel with the earth? Now, be in your physical body, be in your breath body. So much for the physical body to be telling us. Everything that's rooting and grounding, left knee, right foot. What are the muscles doing around those bones to give us stability? What's that left arm doing? Did the left arm start doing everything? Is it getting tired? You've got two big limbs rooting into the earth. Can they be doing more? They're far bigger than that left arm. Do we carry the weight of any effort that we're exerting in life in a balanced way? Or do we just rely on the limbs? Do we rely on our skills that we're used to? Can we grow new skills, new foundation? Twist. Good. And let's release. I'm going to tuck the back toes and step that left leg up. Deep breath in. Sigh it out. What are you doing here? What's rooting and what's lengthening? And let's roll the spine up. Being in our bodies with intention, standing and lifting against gravity and rooting into gravity. We're collaborating with gravity, not fighting against it. Let's breathe in and lengthen. Let's go ahead and thread the fingers, interlace, and a gentle side bend. Push the legs down. Now, sometimes all we're doing is coming over. Where's the up? There's upward energy still going up through the top of the head. Where's the root? And then hopefully somewhere in the middle, we feel that collaboration of ease. Feel the threading in your arms and your hands, in the hands and the fingers. Is that a fight? Or is there an effortlessness, a collaboration? Let's breathe in and come up. Oh, what did the muscles in the waist do to help us get there? Exhale, over, up and over, rooting and rising. What's talking in the back, in the center of the back, up and down the back, along the side of the waist and the ribs? What's the breath body saying, doing, feeling here? Are we listening? Breath in as we come up. Shoulders are down, chest is still lifting. We're in this mountain. Are we ready to meet it and do it and feel it and release and come all the way down? How are you choosing to feel this forward fold? Do you need the knees to be softer? Do you need to soften that relationship you're having with your body? How are you relating to your breath right now? Out of breath, body, and mind, which one is driving? Could you let breath drive for the next few poses? How would that change your awareness, your perception? We're going to step the right leg back. You can bring your knee down. Feel your rootedness. And then let the rise come. Feel the mountain. Invite your mountain into this pose. So I'm bringing this down to a root fundamental. And you might be like, how is this related to twisting triangle? Right? So number one, how is this related to mountain? All I would have to do is if I tuck this toes, now you really feel like I'm standing, right? Instead of kneeling. But I'm standing. I'm still rooting and lifting. And the big difference would be as if I straighten that leg and came into whatever you would perceive as the full pose, which I really feel is garbage if you ever hung out with me for any period of time. All right. How wide do you want that leg? Invest in the up, invest in the down. Feel what's communicating here. It says, I'm not used to standing and holding you in this way. Can I? Yes. Am I accustomed to it? Maybe not. What are some areas that need some extra work and some love to help get us there with effortlessness? Maybe your body says, I can give you effortlessness here for 2 more breaths, and then after that, there's going to be a ton of effort. Do we know that? How do we meet that? All right, I'm going to come on down, maybe put a block here. Maybe you've widened your stance. Feel out whether the belly, the tummy has enough space. Good. Rooting in that right arm. Feel the rootedness. This is a new leg, this right arm. Stamp the left foot down now. Check in. Are these limbs doing something? Or once you put the right arm down, the legs say, meh, right arm has it. We can chill out. Pull the left hip back a little. Kind of feel some alignment in your back and your spine, your hips. Left hand to the chest, asking the rib cage to revolve. Can you turn that rib cage sideways? Like your rib cage is toast in the toaster. Can it? Okay, maybe your toast has to be sideways a little bit. Breath in. Breath out. I'm going to come out for a little bit here because I ended up with a bit of a cramp in my left upper hip. I've been doing some of these a little intensely this week. And I'm recognizing and I'm stopping, I'm listening and saying, oh, okay, you said slow down, I'm slowing down. You ready to try it again? I think I want to try it again. All right, I'm going to bring this here. And I'm softening my grip here. I realized I had been kind of squeezing the butt muscles and I didn't need them. They were overworking. And then I get to twist the chest, reminding my butt muscles to chill out. Feeling how much I actually do still tend to do some overexertion where I'm muscling in my practice and I'm not finding that effortlessness, that integrative union of breath, body, and mind. Finding the contentment with where I am, because oftentimes if I'm overexerting, that's not me accepting. That's me trying to force my will. And we'll bring the hands down. Let's just step the left knee back. All right, I'm going to face everyone and we'll bring our thighs apart about fist width. Camel is another space that we were working on this week. And actually, I'm going to, just as we did on Tuesday, if you have a clear wall, let's try to go ahead and bring ourselves with our chest and our bellies up against an open wall. If you don't, you can stay freestanding. But if you can, let's see if we can bring the thighs and the knees, still have that space in between the inner thighs. Hips touching the wall. Thighs touching the wall. Merge with that wall, y'all. All right, now if you have mammaries or, some prodigious flesh on your chest, let's lift that and then try to get as much of the belly and the ribs against the wall, forehead against the wall, and breathe. Now we're still in mountain, so what's growing upward? Can you grow that spine taller? Maybe your neck has given you all it could. Could you grow taller from the ribs and the waist? Feel the working and the energy to keep pressing the hips and the belly against the wall are restraining. What's going on between breath and body and mind? Shoulders down. What's creeping up? Where's tension and suffering accumulating? Where are we giving it safe harbor, and where can we say, get out? And I'm going to sink the hips back onto the heels. All right, we're going to reapproach. I hope that you're able to have a wall. So, Kara, I hope you have a wall. D-Bay, I hope that you have a wall. If not, go ahead and get positioned to the wall. But if you do not have a wall, so the wall, right, there's nowhere to hide. Right, we're up against that wall and we're like, holy crap. We don't have that resistance and that need to kind of grow taller here. So here I want to see if my hips can come in line with the knees. And this is where a mirror might be able to be helpful if you don't have a clear and open wall, nice flat surface to bring the body up against. So let's see about, right? Now I want to get my head in line with the shoulders too. And then work on the up. Pull the navel to the back of the spine. Where's that breath? Be honest, right? I know that I creep into a whisper breath until I bring that intention into the breath. And lower that down. Okay, let's come on down to sitting. And you might be like, how is that a back bend? I thought camel is a back bend. Remember, these are the fundamentals. And if we don't have a root, a good solid into the fundamental before you take it further, one of the key things that you could do in that camel is hurt your back. Right? A lot of times people say, I can't do back bends because it hurts my back. Well, if we haven't set up the fundamentals and the foundation for what needs to be strengthened and solid, of course you're going to hurt the back because you're probably working the energy in the body in an imbalanced way, putting too much force on the lumbar. So we've got to get that lift. We've got to be secure, a lot of strength in the core before you can lift up and over. All righty. So I know it sucked. And I'm sorry. Yay, I'm glad you have a wall. I would say try to practice that a few times, take like 5 breaths, 10 breaths, find out where your limit is and when it starts to get harsh in the mind, when it starts to get harsh in the body, where it's like, I'm losing my peace. And so we're losing the peace. Come on out, come the child's pose, take a rest, stretch something out, and reapproach. And we get to notice what's going on in the breath. Did we forget to bring the breath with us? What's going on in the mind? All right, so an approach to your twisted triangle, an approach to your camel. We're going to now step into our Hanumanasana, and that was our split. Okay, what? Split? Yes. So in the split, let's first start in the basics of sitting. So the root foundation of sitting is Dandasana. We talked about Tadasana, or mountain pose, as the root of standing. This is the root of sitting. So we're going to lift up through the chest. And I've still got some element of mountain here. And then these legs are active. So here's me, flubity, with my legs ain't doing nothing, right? They're just chilling out, right? And now I'm like, I'm going to hold my legs. I'm going to bring my energy into my legs, flexing the toes to the face, squeezing the thighs, pushing the legs down. I am occupying my legs doing what legs do right here. And now my torso is lifting. And really, I feel that from the low abs up through the solar plexus, giving me the energy to hold, the strength and the containment to hold. Trying not to crane that neck up so chin is level, still lengthening through the back of the neck. Breath and body working together. Now the upper body may give out first, or the bottom body may give out first, but start to be aware of when it's slipping in. Keep that intention of up, up, up through the upper body, through the front of the chest, not the back of the shoulders. Back of the shoulders rooting, front of the chest lifting. Is there room for breath inside of all of that energy? Or are we cramping it up? Are we squeezing? Remember that squeeze, that's suffering. Unsqueeze and be free with breath. What are we learning about that root? What are we learning about that lift? If I apply to the root a little bit, my lift can take a little less effort. If I apply a little bit more lift, that root can take a little less effort. And somewhere they symbiotically work together and integrate. And I feel less effort all around, but I'm fully involved in the intention. All right, I'm going to keep those legs straight, and I'm going to hinge at the hips. Try to keep that spine flat. Now lift the chin and imagine there's a rope pulling from the center of the chest forward. What's resisting and what's free? What are the varieties of sensation and texture that we're feeling? Where is the mind? Is it finding an effortlessness? With so much instruction, so much chatter coming out of me, it can be really hard to find that quiet mental space, which is why setting your plan, doing this practice together, and then doing it yourself. Sitting in the quietude and observing what's really going on, chattering in our mind. And we get to start to catalog and inventory the thoughts in that inner landscape, the emotions, memory and future thinking, expectations, and we'll roll the spine up. All right, so we get to feel the relationship that the back has with the hamstrings in this forward fold Paschimottanasana space. It's very much preparatory for our split. So I'm going to invite us into half a split. Now it's going to be contraindicated for any knee joint issues. So if you've got a knee replacement scheduled, it might also be contraindicated for some ankle issues or hip issues. So let's just see where we are, and we'll see. You could just stay in the Paschimo as a great way with the flexing of the toes to start to feel that's a single leg coming forward, all right? Because the split is both, right? One going back, one going forward. So I'm going to come to my hands and knees. Go ahead and have a block. We're going to step this foot forward. Let's come on back here. We've been here. Feel this here. What are we feeling? Can you dip the hip forward and stretch this area more? Are you crunching the back? Let's remember the wall now and grow tall in the chest. What's lifting, what's rooting, what's lengthening, what's free, what's tight. Feel that Ganesha mudra, that obstacle, that struggle. What are you contributing to the struggle? What can you let go of so that you can struggle less? Now I'm going to bring my spine back upright. And get this block. I'm going to bring it down under my right butt. Okay? And I'm going to turn and face this way. And I'm going to bring that down under my right butt. Got to take it back further from my butt. And I'm going to bring my hip down onto that. Okay? Like so. Now that left knee is bent. And I've got that foot tucked behind like this. Okay? But you might prefer to have the toes tucked like this. That's going to be up to you to feel that out. Might be intense on those toes. Inner thighs together. Already you can feel the Dandasana, that seated pose. So let's stay active here. Stay active here. Now, some of you may not need this block. This is a great beginning space that's honoring and respectful of the body. Let's just go ahead and do that first. And we're just going to come forward. Pulling the chest forward. See if you can flex those toes. Now, I think it was Wednesday, or maybe it was Tuesday, talked about rotate that right thigh inward a bit. So if you could rotate this upper bone in a little bit, and hold it there. And then come forward and start to notice what you're feeling. What are you feeling? Do you need to bend this right knee a little? Or maybe you're asking it to straighten down. Breath body, physical body. Stay there if that's more than enough. I'm going to take the block away. Now, you could have several sizes of blocks, or wedge, or roll up a blanket, because you could come down another inch or so, okay? It doesn't have to be a bunch. But some of us can actually bring the butt down and come forward. Now, notice I'm using this right hand as a kickstand, because otherwise I'm kind of falling over here. All right, so I'm coming forward. Oh, got to rotate that thigh. And once I start rotating that thigh, I feel this stretch along here. And it takes me a while to start to feel anything into the calf, because now I'm starting to. That's me. Maybe you're feeling it in your back, your low back, your upper back. Ease and steadiness. Try it and let the mind go of attaching to an expectation or a desire out of this pose, of where you want to be in some future space. Be here now and observe and feel and love, experience what you're experiencing. The only way through it is through it. We don't get to skip any steps. We don't get to skip any feeling. Not if we're here to do the yoga. Roll the spine up. And on a physical level, skipping some steps to achieve some aesthetic goal is a recipe for injury. It's a recipe for injury physically, emotionally. It isn't going to really help us grow. It's actually a way of creating more suffering, right? We're letting our desire realm, our ego realm, our rejecting of the patience realm, that obstacle to get in our way. And we think that we've achieved our goal. But maybe actually the goal wasn't really what we thought it was. Okay, let's go ahead and shift. I'm just going to find my way to the other side, because I'm not going to use a block on this side. Know that if you want to set that up, set that up. Sitting upright, what's rooting, what's lifting? Are you applying that lifting? And then the hinging, rotating that left thigh. So split, Hanumanasana. It's one of those poses where it's hard to hide, because usually there's a bunch that starts screaming at us right away. So there's a lot for us to confront, right? There's a lot. And so it's ripe for us to look at how we interpret suffering. It's ripe for us to start to notice when we're inflicting it on ourselves. Because we could back it up an inch and go, okay, but are we dissatisfied in our mind and going, oh, but I'm not really doing it? Or maybe you're in it and going, I hate all of this. And that would be that dvesa, that would be that rejection or that refusal aspect of an obstacle to our learning and our growth, because we just don't like. And that's that suffering aspect of learning and feeling out, experiencing, perceiving discomfort. Is it just something I don't like, or is it something that's dangerous? Do I know that difference? Take your breath in with it. Are we having an integrated experience, or did the body start to scream and we abandoned the breath and the mind and say, hey, I need all of us to come together. Wonder triplets. Unite. Shape of, form of peace. Yeah, I'm showing my age and my era. And we'll bring ourselves up. Don't forget to smile. Don't forget to laugh in our yoga, because that's a part of something we need to yoke to as well. All right, so that is our Hanumanasana in a basic way. We did a half of a split, or Ardha Hanumanasana. You might need blankets under the knees. Maybe that isn't a posture for you based on the knees, so you can stay in, coming forward into the Paschimottanasana, finding a peace into that before we add in that hip element. I do realize that when I switched over to the other side, I didn't do the standing on the knee part to stretch the front of the hip flexor. That's another aspect of Hanuman that we would feel. I'm not asking you all to get into it, but remembering this at here, or pushing down a little bit in here, feeling that. Okay. And if you're like, okay, but how is that Hanuman? How is that the split? Well, if I feel the chest coming up here, if I were to start to slide that leg forward, this is still stretching up. Okay. And I've got to give that equal energy to the up as I am into the down. And I get to feel all of those limitations. But that could be too extreme on that front leg, and it could definitely be too extreme here, and it's referring and needs to connect with the back muscles. So let's have some patience and respect for this frame. All right. The last bit was our dolphin. Recentering, regrounding. So dolphin is a forearm down dog. And that really can task the underside muscles of this arm. We're really familiar with the front, right? We're like, oh, biceps, that's my arm strength, right? But that underside, pressing down with the underside, using that underside of the arm for that containment strength. We're used to those as in like kind of clamping in, or having those elbows pushing down, but we don't walk around on our elbows. I don't think. So these areas may not be as well used, coming down into the lats, coming down into some of the obliques, as well as, so the side cores. So let's be kind and loving toward the body as we feel this out. So let's start lying down on our bellies in Sphinx. So we're going to bring ourselves down into the belly. Bring the forearms down. And so now we're feeling the forearms being a bit of our rootedness, our new legs. But it's a nice, firm, flat surface. And now feel the upper body still doing the mountain bit, right? It's lifting up, crown of the head up. Now we've got a lot of body surface on the earth as our root. The belly, the hips, the thighs, the feet. What role are they playing in your rooting? Sticking you to the ground. How much work does it need to do to stick you to the ground? Not much. So how much trust can we put in it and then keep the energy coming up into the upper body? How much are you pressing into the arms? Where are you pressing into the arms? Are you pushing in the elbows? Are you using the entire surface? Can you feel that breastbone lifting up? Back side of the body, let it go. Let's tilt the chin up and down. Keep lifting the chest as you do this. And let your observation notice the length of the muscles up and down your back alongside the spinal column, the erector spinae. What are your butt muscles doing? Are you aware? What's your breath body doing? Is it going to that whisper? Left and right. What is the range? By lifting in the chest, do I get more free rein? Can I apply that much energy into myself, that much dedication to rising? Or am I bearing my load? And let's lower it down. Maybe you can feel some of the work releasing out of the arms. Take a deep breath in and release. Thank that breath body for being able to carry your energy and cleanse and purify. Deep breath and release. Good. Let's bring those forearms down again. And let's walk the knees up. So we're in tabletop on the forearms. And then just reach the chin forward. Press the hands down. Don't just dig in the elbows. And shift it back, maybe to child's pose. Feel that lengthening. Try to keep those arms parallel like railroad tracks. Notice any urge that they have for those hands to come together. What are you feeling stretching or resisting in the arm sockets? Let your head go. How are we experiencing any limitation, any suffering, any misery? And come forward, breath in, body, breath, mind working together, exhaling it back. Can you let the neck go? Where is that fight, and is that fight physical and necessary? How much trust has to be built to let muscles that are used to holding you together learn that they don't need to? And let's come on forward, breath in. Exhale, take it back. Now on this third time, now my head actually touched the floor. Muscles are lengthening in my back and my neck. Things are ungripping. I check in with my breath and say, yes, I indeed feel a little bit more free in the range of movement in my body, in my upper body. Good. Let's come on down onto our backs. One hand to the belly, one hand to the chest. A single om, feeling the vibration of your voice, your vocal cords with breath working together. Breath and body. Breath in. Another. Observe the obstacles to you freely letting this sound out. How many muscles can get loose in your neck, your shoulders, your whole body as you have one more om? I'm going to straighten the right leg. I'm going to step the left foot across my straight right leg. So my left knee is still in bridge, but it's crossed over that right leg. Now see if you can get your back to stay flat on the floor, okay? Because that left butt probably is trying to peel up into a twist. All right, if you need to use your right hand to hold that left knee up so that the low back can rest, let's feel a bit of this twisting in a reclining manner. So the root of reclining is Shavasana, right? So the body lying flat on the floor, effortless in the floor. But here we're inviting a bit of a reclining aspect of our twisting triangle here. What is resisting in the side of that left hip, left thigh? How effortless can we be? How are we perceiving and reacting to the sukha, the dukkha, the suffering? If we're still fidgeting and fiddling around, Is that a desire and a non-acceptance? Or is there truly something for safety that needed to be adjusted? There always comes a time in every pose where we have to just sit with what we're experiencing and observe. And that observation time is really that mental, spiritual, and wisdom space. The hardest spaces for us to sit and watch. All right, I'm going to uncross that left leg. Straighten that left leg. Release any energy of what we were doing. Feel the root here in that Shavasana as a pose. I'm going to bring the right foot in and step it across that left leg. Maybe using the left hand to hold that left leg, or maybe it's holding itself. Actually, on this side, I'm able to hold it without using my hand. Try not to let the right knee fall open. Feel that twisting element while the rest of you is in Shavasana. Feel those inner groin muscles. What are they doing? Do they need to be doing that work? I'm going to go ahead and use my left hand to help me get a little support here so I can really relax the spine. We get to notice how addicted we are or how attached we are to doing. And so I gave myself a little support here so that the mind and the body could start to do less. And I'm going to release that leg, lengthen the legs out, adjust the body for Shavasana. Sometimes lying flat on our back with our legs extended can cause some aggravation to the back, to the low back. So you could have your feet at butterfly. Sometimes that takes pressure off of the back. You could always curl up on your side or lay on your belly. But let's find the most effortless space of emptiness of doing in the body as you can. So choose your form, your shape, and then commence emptiness, stillness, silence. Be in the body, be in the breath, be in the mind. Without moving anything in your body, become aware of your whole body, your skin, each finger, each toe, your groin, your genitals, the hair, each hair follicle, your organs, your eyeballs, your tongue, your cheeks, your lips. Now feel different areas of the body respond as you ask them to move, wiggle, stretch. And we'll gradually bring ourselves upright to a seated space. Sit any way you like. Maybe your back is up against the wall. Take a moment and recall your practice plan, your intention. Why were you on your mat? What were you practicing? How did you connect with it? And feel your physical body's response. Feel your breath body's response and your mind. One more time, Ganesha Mudra. Pulling, feeling even our change of relationship with struggle and fight and obstacles. Breathe with it. Softening and releasing. And we'll switch. Maybe something has transformed in how you interact with something that's in our way, with the fight and struggle within us, with the fight and struggle in our bodies. And softly release. Single Om if you wish to join, allowing the vibration to permeate through your body, out into the universe, into the air, knowing that our Oms let us connect with one another, because my sound wave will hopefully touch your sound wave eventually. Deep breath in. Hands to the heart center at the Anjali Mudra, a nice way to hold your intention lightly in your hands. So I keep the palms lightly cupped and hold that intention I was holding for myself and practicing, and bringing it close to my heart, so that every time I bring my hands into this gesture today, hopefully I'll remember my intention and it will serve me in that moment with whoever I'm interacting with. All that is love and light in me recognizes that same space in you. Namaste. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and it has been my pleasure to share home yoga practice with you all today, this week, with a theme of dukkha, or suffering. Please look back into the playlist, either on YouTube or Facebook, if you want to go through the whole week and get a little bit more context about what is dukkha and how we're bringing it into our asana practice, yoga poses, how we're bringing it into our mudra practice and our mindset practice. We've been donation-based for 10 years. We hope to be able to continue to offer and make yoga accessible and inclusive. So if you have anything in your heart or your pocket, we will gratefully accept any donation. PayPal.me/justbeyoga. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow. Yoga Basics at 10 in the morning, 11:30 Empower Yoga Live, and on Sunday, 10:30 Chakra Yoga Flow. It's been my deep honor and pleasure. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. Namaste, everyone. Good to see you, Dibe. Thank you so much for joining. Leah, oh, wonderful. Thank you for joining. I will stick around if there are any questions or inquiry. I know that maybe this context or this format may feel a little different. You might be like, hey, well, I thought I should have been doing like 20 more poses. So I'm happy to help. Or if there's questions about certain access points, did anything feel off with you? I like to make this interactive. We have the benefit of being here and live, so let's use it, right? Hey, Kara, the mudra, a good body practice for something I need in my mind. Thank you. Oh, well, wonderful. Kara, I really appreciate that. Look up Ganesha, 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 and the Ganesha Mudra. Ganesha is a really powerful deity in Hindu religion and, in yoga philosophy. Of looking at, I love how all of these Eastern practices, whether it's yoga, whether it's Tai Chi or Qigong, or some of the Taoist practices, that we look at the elements and we look at nature to guide us, about how to go with the flow in nature. And so we look at the guidance of how an elephant walks in the world, and it goes with it with ease, but a confidence, right? And so I love being able to look at how I go through my obstacles, and can I embody a bit of Ganesha. Not asking Ganesha to come and smash through stuff for me. Sometimes people like to use that visual. But how do I empower myself to hearken my own inner elephant? And how do I travel through those woods? Do I smash through it? Do I step over it? Do I wallow in the mud and have fun and laugh through the things that give me a problem? Yeah, that's me and Ganesha right now. Thank you so much. All righty. Leah, thank you for joining. Feel free to send a message if you have any questions, belinda@justbeyoga.com, or on our Facebook message. And yeah, have a great weekend, everyone.